Long ago, in the ancient city of Ur, a man named Abram and his wife Sarai lived a quiet life. They were advanced in years, wealthy by the standards of their time, but with no child to call their own. Abram was a man of honor, respected by his people. Yet, despite all his success, there was a deep void in his heart. One night as Abram looked at the stars, wondering what his life would hold, a voice came to him. It was the voice of the Almighty, the creator of heaven and earth. "Abram," the voice called. Startled, Abram fell to his knees, his heart racing. "Who speaks?" he asked. "I am the Lord, the God who created the heavens and the earth. I have chosen you, Abram. Leave your country, your people, and your father's household, and go to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. All peoples on earth will be blessed through you." Abram was stunned. The thought of leaving everything he had ever known was terrifying. Yet, in his heart, he believed the voice was true. The words resonated with something deep inside him, something that was more than just the wisdom of men. It was faith, the kind of faith that moves mountains, as Jesus would later speak of in the Gospel of Matthew. And so, with nothing but a promise from God, Abram took Sarai, his nephew Lot, and all their belongings and set out for an unknown land. It was a journey that would take them through deserts and foreign lands, often with no clear sign of the fulfillment of God's promise. Years passed. Abram, now called Abraham, and Sarai, now Sarah, grew older. Still, the promise of a child had not come to pass. At times, doubt crept into their hearts. Sarah, in her weariness, laughed when she overheard a messenger of God telling Abraham that she would bear a child in her old age. "After I am worn out and my Lord is old, will I now have this pleasure?" she thought to herself. But the Lord responded, "Is anything too hard for the Lord?" Their faith was tested again and again, yet through their trials Abraham clung to the promise. As Paul would later write in the letter to the Romans, "Against all hope, Abraham in hope believed and so became the father of many nations, just as it had been said to him, so shall your offspring be." Finally, when Abraham was 100 years old and Sarah was 90, the impossible happened. Sarah bore a son, and they named him Isaac, meaning laughter, for the joy that filled their hearts was beyond expression. The child was the fulfillment of the promise, the proof that faith in God, though tested and delayed, was never in vain. But Abraham's faith would be tested once more. One day, God spoke to him again. "Take your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering on a mountain I will show you." Abraham's heart must have shattered. Isaac, the child of promise, was now to be taken from him, yet, with trembling hands and a heavy heart, Abraham obeyed. He took Isaac, and together they journeyed to the mountain just as God had commanded. At the peak of the mountain, as Abraham raised the knife to slay his son, the angel of the Lord called out to him, "Do not lay a hand on the boy. Do not do anything to him. Now I know that you fear God, because you have not withheld from me your son, your only son." And there Abraham saw a ram caught in the thicket, provided by God as a substitute. His faith had been tested to its very limit, but he had believed that God could even raise Isaac from the dead if necessary. In that moment, Abraham knew that his faith was in the God who provides, and the place was named Jehovah Jireh, meaning the Lord will provide. Faith continues to unfold in the New Testament, where it takes on an even more personal form through Jesus Christ. After Jesus healed many people, he often said, "Your faith has made you well," emphasizing that faith was not just belief in a distant God, but trust in the presence of God's work through Christ. The Apostle Paul later defines faith in the book of Hebrews as the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. He recounts the stories of the heroes of the faith, Abraham, Moses, David, and many others who, through faith, conquered kingdoms, administered justice, and gained what was promised. Yet, not all saw the promises fulfilled in their lifetimes, but they believed in God's ultimate plan. Faith, as the Bible teaches in all its versions, is not a fleeting hope or wishful thinking. It is a deep, enduring trust in the goodness of God, even when circumstances say otherwise. Faith calls for patience, perseverance, and the willingness to obey God, even when His ways are mysterious. Through faith, ordinary people like Abraham and Sarah become extraordinary vessels of God's promise, and through faith, we too can experience the fulfillment of God's promises in our lives. In the words of Jesus, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, "Move from here to there," and it will move. nothing will be impossible for you.